by Rachelle Toarmino, who is up here. As well as proposed in some capacity the release of I Am Here, You Are Not, I Love You by Aidan who is also right here, both whom have traveled. Hey, you can clap too, why not? Both of whom have traveled very far from Buffalo, New York to join us tonight, so that's very exciting. We have 5 readers for you. Does everyone speak English, by the way? Tout le monde parle anglais? Okay. I amused myself doing a few translations, which I guess I will be reading for the sake of myself. Maybe a few. So we are going to have 5 readers tonight. So we have, of course, Rachelle and Aidan will be headlining. We also have Kristin D. Sanders, Will Mountain Cox, and Lucy K. Shaw will all be here. All right. After the reading will last about an hour. After we're done, if you want to stick around and hang out, we will hang out at the bar next door, which you are welcome to join us for. Please do it. I made a galette. It's pistachio, almond, raspberry galette, and I'm told that the guy is going to be nice enough to chop it up for us. And we snuck over to a bakery and asked them for a crown. And I said, "Can I buy a crown?" And they said, "I don't think we can sell a crown," so they just gave it to me. So one of you can be the lucky winner.
It's very Mardi Gras of you.
Very Mardi Gras of me.
Mardi Gras in Paris.
Mardi Gras in Paris. So true. Okay. Am I supposed to say anything else? I don't think so. So, thank you to Grille, wherever you may be. And first up, we have Lucy K. Shaw. Lucy K. Shaw is a writer and editor. She is the author of a number of books, including The Motion, Woman with Hat, Troisième Vague, which, despite its French title, is in English. A number of other books. She's the editor of Shabby Doll House, which was a lit journal that was around for a very long time, continues, I suppose, in some capacity to be a lit journal. It's primarily nowadays a book publisher, publishing many books, including mine, and also an editor at Zona Motel, a platform on Substack.com that you can check out, which has lots of exciting essays on it. Lucy K. Shaw.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. Well, first of all, actually, I want to say, I edit for this magazine called Zona Motel, and if you ever want to write about books or writers or literary stuff, and you don't know where to publish it, then you should get in touch with me, because I'm always looking for that kind of thing. So, come and chat if you have ideas. Because that could be fun. I didn't know what to read, but I recently have been revisiting a play that I wrote a couple of years ago, and there was just one performance of it in New York in 2024, I think, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. But then I was just looking at it, and I was like, maybe I can make this into a book or something. And so that's what I've been doing, and I thought I'll read some of it, which is different for me because I don't know. I wasn't in the play, so it's I've never actually read it or anything. It feels strange to be the person doing that. But I've asked my friend Aidan to join me in reading the other character. It's like a dialogue. So we're going to read a little bit from that. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, great. So I think we can just go ahead. Can you? The mic doesn't really do anything. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. Because I was kind of thinking if we were leaning forward, we were a folk duo. it could look interesting, but I don't think it's necessary. All right, and I understand that you're all I know that you understand the concept of drama and theatre already, but I just want to confirm these are not my personal views or thoughts. I'm in character. And he will be too. This is not his personality. I was gonna do costumes, we could put on a hat or something, but we didn't. Anyway, now we're gonna get serious. Okay. Alright. I want my time with you.
Lately, I've been thinking about the future a lot.
I feel like the way I think about the past now is maybe different than the way I used to think about the past.
Ultimately, I feel as though I have all the time that I need.
When you're younger, you think you have forever, and then you realize you don't.
Infinite choices, I guess.
More choices than I could even know about.
Unfathomable choices.
Always.
It's also... I don't know.
I mean, nothing against my personal intelligence, but I just think not even Albert Einstein understood it. It's just, life is crazy. I want my time with you.
I am gonna die. But I'll leave a legacy, and I'll have an impact on the world.
Oh, I've always done this sort of thing.
My relationships have always looked this particular way.
I've been thinking about this kind of thing a lot lately.
I kind of don't know how to separate the past, present, future. Everything feels very wrapped up to me.
So yeah, I've been thinking about death.
I think it's something you probably discuss a lot with your friends when you're together. I want my time with you.
I don't need to live in a big city like New York or Chicago or LA or whatever. I don't need to live in that kind of city. But I think I do I do need to live in a smaller city.
I think being in a major city with public transportation is really good for me right now.
I need to live near a bookstore and a movie theatre. So if a town has that, then I'm okay. I want my time with you.
I think that the future is a site of anxiety for me. That's why when I stray to thinking too much about the possible future, I have to remind myself that the present, you have to concentrate on the present, and it's grounding to think of the present moment,
I don't necessarily think that everything's going to be okay.
Mathematically, I have infinite things that I can do in my day. In this room, in this moment. I can say so many different things, but that is inside a different infinity of all the potential things that I could do, which every day gets smaller. I think sometimes it gets bigger, but now I'm thinking it gets smaller. That infinity, just in terms of what I choose to do within my own infinity.
Okay. But how free do you feel?
I'd rather think about what I'm doing right now.
I remember walking in and just laying on the ground.
I'm very much, how much can I get out of life type person.
I just keep having these realizations of, oh my god, it's been 8 months since I talked to this person or that person, and it's not that I do feel less close to them, it's just that somehow all this time has passed, and I don't consider myself bad at keeping in touch with people. I think I'm actually usually pretty good. It's just, I don't know, maybe the older you get, the more your social world expands, and you only have so much time.
I want my time with you.
I think for all women, not all women, but a lot of women, this is the age where you have to start making a decision because, everywhere you read that when you turn 35, it just goes. Your chances of being able to get pregnant, having a normal and healthy pregnancy, decreases dramatically.
I'm very busy. I go to work every day. Most of the time, I've got things going on in the evening. My weekends are full, I have to schedule time to do nothing.
It was basically just kind of arbitrary that I ended up here.
I don't think I envision a future where I want to live somewhere else.
I feel calmest when I'm most connected to the earth. It's convenient to be in a city at times. I can walk to 5 different supermarkets within 5 minutes from my apartment, and that is incredible, but the fact that when I'm in the countryside, I can, be in a field and nobody could hear me scream if I screamed as loud as I possibly could, that's pretty valuable to know. That has a high value to me.
Cities are where things happen, where literary things happen, where people are.
What does it mean to miss someone, though?
I've been thinking about this kind of thing a lot lately.
I want my time with you.
I have a good salary job, and definitely more money than I probably need compared to other times in my life.
I feel really stupid about money and I try not to think about it that much.
I think the differences have been standing out to me.
I have a pretty decent life, but I also live within my means and I don't do things that I would maybe like to do but that aren't super essential to me. Other people might value them more than I do, but I'm okay to make those sacrifices for myself.
Waking up, eating food, drinking coffee, working on my business, looking at memes, having a bit of a laugh, keeping my room clean.
Summers in your absence are as dark as a room.
When I do get together with my good friends, it feels like we're as close as ever, and everybody is going through that same experience, They're also feeling that way about the people in their circles, and I think what I tell myself is that this is just the next stage, and this is what friendship looks like as you get older, and maybe there's another time in which you have that same type of closeness with people that you once did.
It transcends an individual interpersonal relationship in a sense, and it is hard to place the blame.
Obviously, you're not here.
I was just going through this in my mind.
I want my time with you.
You know when you get just in a downswing where you have a bad couple of years, or just like a gloomy couple of years?
I lived through the pandemic. In the upstairs apartment, essentially.
It's one of those existential things for me.
There's politics involved.
I'm completely unemployable at this point.
I don't know. I just don't feel natural.
I want my time with you.
Maybe it's too late.
Well, we're both breathing.
But everything has changed.
Do you feel different?
I am different.
I remember you.
Do you like me?
Do I like you?
I know.
But I know you.
I'm scared of getting stuck in the past. But I want my time with you.
I guess what's good in New York is that they just installed compost bins on street corners in every neighborhood. So it's super easy to compost, and I think everybody should do it because it's so easy.
But, yeah, cost of living wise though, it sucks.
It's not feeling, I guess, very intimate. It takes a really long time to get people to open up.
There are moments in the day where time feels like it kind of opens up or is passing really slowly. In a way that's good and that often happens when I'm reading or working on writing. Sometimes it feels like there's more time than, I keep feeling like there's more time than I expected, which is, I don't know why that is. It's crazy, but I don't mind it.
It makes me feel really emotional talking about it and thinking about it. It's always that thing like, oh my god, how is it September already? It feels that way all the time. Like, how did it happen that time has moved this quickly? But then sometimes weeks just drag and you're like, how is it still Wednesday?
I'm just realizing, or maybe just accepting, how hard it is for people to really understand each other.
Sometimes I just think, oh, you're doing something because that's what in your head is what you think is good to do. But it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with me.
I'm at a point in my life where I know what I need to do to sort of help my body feel okay.
I still want more time with you.
I'm just thinking about the way life all comes together and unfolds.
There are so many different choices you can make, but you actually can't choose them all.
Infinite choices.
Maybe choices that are more extreme than you previously felt able to consider.
Unfathomable choices.
Always fearing that you've made the wrong one, and that it has created a domino effect where the possibilities of other, more fulfilling choices slowly evaporate, and you're sort of stuck with what you've done.
But of course, that's the case for everybody, so...
That's all.
All right. In a previous rendition of this, I was maybe going to say "Je vais monter avec toi" in the background, but we decided against that. Or I guess we just didn't plan. Bye. Good night. Thank you. Those are my parents. Please talk. Sorry, I'm embarrassed. Okay. So up next we have Mr. Will Mountain Cox. Will is a writer originally from Portland, Oregon. Has lived in Paris, however, for many, many years at this point. I don't know how many years you lived here, Kyle. 12, right. And is the author of Roundabout, a novel about young lives in Paris that rounds about a bar. And also the Relegation Reader, a recent anthology that just came out, that is about sort of contemporary authors in both Europe and North America, and kind of connects the dots between them. So if you're into one author, it suggests you read this other author, and it's kind of a cool one. I don't know if you have any tonight, no, but you can find one on Instagram if you're interested in more cool contemporary writing. Okay, well, I'm going.
In case you were wondering, the trunk of that tree is about 6 feet tall. I brought that prop. It goes with one of my poems. I grimaced lightly at the novelty of a hot dog shop so far from home. The Frankfurters glistened in their spinners, and yet Americans are still the best French kissers. My American tradition is unnamably encased. Napkins daub the grace. I demur. I speak too often with my mouth full of myrrh and mirth and other trendy sundries. I spend countless hours going through my past, but at least now there's unclaimed land freed up in my spam folder. All snout, all whole, will show pig knuckle. If my grandfathers weren't so brave, I'd never have tried the tripe, like D-Day à la mode de camp, just like shaving Ryan's privates, my granddad used to say. In France, corn dogs are enrobed sausages, and de Balzac donned a very big jacket. The heart of the matter is only found by meticulously doffing off all the cornmeal batter. All the better, the master, a catering service worthy of the devil's dance, cured meat, single-serving cheeses. I shame the fromagerie. I mix my metaphors. I confuse my customers. I learn both my metaphors come served in a single jar. I learn my metaphors make for a vile sandwich. I am ashamed of my constitution. I have no illusions left to lose. I do not string my cheese. I simply chomp the snack's little head off. I realize in making the joke about that tree that has a lot of references that could be interpreted by that tree. But I promise that was not the poem I was intending. I got married a couple weeks ago. And I've been thinking about love in conspiratorial times. So here's a poem that I wrote with that in mind. It's called Noid Sonnet, Wedding Day Haircut. I set my heart against the scales of grief and handsomely tipped my sinning barber. Was the black blonder hair we were born with a last defense, or does it yet return out the dark source from which we're ripped? I gasped and grasped yonder for the oh shit bar to life. There is a bald spot on my soul, the shape of a lifeline. This is the groomer's pipeline. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest. Curtains on your wedding day? You blew it. Or wait, just because these tears are on your face doesn't mean they're yours. Cold sweats are just follicles weeping. When you die, your heart keeps pacing. Spondy after spondy, love's miracle. You don't have to clap in the video. You can clap, save them for the end.
One big clap.
Sticking with the same love vein. In my past, I have seen a Roomba vacuum eat up a steaming dog turd and spread it evenly around a room, the machine in full assurance of fulfilling its divine purpose. That was a hot day, and the clean room smelt like a wish. More recently, I have met my soulmate. She exists. She moves around automatically. To feel good, she must vacuum far too often. The need to clean pains her. Last night was a hot day too, a cold and perfect evening. We went on a date to the best restaurant. I suggested I buy her a Roomba vacuum to relieve her mental load, to ease her anxious burden. The idea brought her real joy. Really, what more could I possibly need to feel I had truly lived?
That's the one I translated.
Oh, you're in true.
I'm back. Sorry. Hi. Welcome. Okay, so for all of you who speak French, I guess, or want to hear me read this in French, j'ai, dans mon passé, pu voir, yeah, this is for your enjoyment mainly,
Sure.
pu voir un aspirateur robot. How do you say Roomba in French? Anybody?
Roomba.
Okay, I'm going with aspirateur robot. I thought about aspirobot, I didn't do it. Avaler une merde de chien fumante et l'étaler uniformément autour d'une pièce, l'appareil convaincu d'accomplir sa raison d'être divine. C'était par un jour chaud et on humait dans la pièce nettoyée l'air d'un vœu. Plus récemment, j'ai rencontré mon âme sûre, sœur. Elle existe, elle bouge partout automatiquement. Pour se sentir bien, elle doit passer l'aspirateur bien trop souvent. Ce besoin de nettoyer lui est pénible. La nuit dernière, suivait une journée chaude aussi. Le soir était frais et parfait. On est allé en amoureux, au meilleur resto. Je lui ai proposé de lui acheter un aspirateur robot pour lui soulager la charge mentale, alléger son anxieux fardeau. L'idée l'a rendue véritablement joyeuse. Vraiment, de quoi plus pourrais-je bien avoir besoin pour avoir l'impression d'avoir vraiment vécu?
Thank you. Sorry. That's the first time I've ever heard my poetry in French.
Exciting! Translated into 2 languages.
Hell yeah. Noid Sonnet 17. A bullet through the neck from a downward angle. My father is an angel with velvet rifle. The rifle jams at the window's vantage, and thus the motorcade escapes its fate. Our mothers born under kinder masters love in a language robbed of verb for debate. But the noun for debate still rises the dead, and the words of the dead still take ghostly precedence. What's that? You think I'm handsome? What's that? I remind you of your own son? Jealousy across history is a target. The red freckle on your throat is mostly cancerous. If indeed the past is paternal, then I know yet another man who can remove it. My last poem is called Splendido Splendente, and it's also a love poem. There wasn't enough food for breakfast this morning, so we just fucked and thought about Italy. You asked me about the trees, and I said, good a trees as any, but that's just me playing it cool. I put my head on your cool, empty stomach and tried to name every shape of pasta, tried to imagine every shape of pasta filling your mouth. I like the idea of you as a tourist, posing for a photo, then asking me 40 years later, where was this again? Italy, babe, I'll say, when we're old and full of difficulties. Thank you.
Me again. So exciting to be up here so much. So, our next guest is Kristin, the guest reader, performer, is Kristin D. Sanders, who is a poet, a writer from the United States, and she is the author of Country, with a U, not an O, and I was that she's got it. Show it for the room. Thank you very much. That's how it's spelled. Which I haven't translated you because we didn't get around to it, and I was thinking that would be a real challenge to translate. I wouldn't really know. I mean, the title of the poetry, you just leave it. You think?
No, but it doesn't translate.
Yeah.
It's too American.
Yeah, it would be tricky. I was thinking. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. So, Kristin Sanders.
Okay.
Off you go.
Hello, friends. Thank you, Lucy and Chris, for organizing this. That's so nice of you, and it's really nice to meet Aidan and Rachelle. And thank you all for coming. It's such a joy to have some of my good friends in the room. Hi, guys. And their children. So I had to make a little edit. Okay, I'm gonna read a few poems from, before the pandemic, I was a digital nomad, so I was living, staying in a lot of Airbnbs. And you know when you write the review of the Airbnb at the end, and you fill out some forms, and then like you can write a paragraph. And so I had this concept that wouldn't that be interesting to write a poem? I never did it on Airbnb, just in my own work. So I started writing Airbnb review poems, and eventually it turned into a manuscript called Reviews of Rooms and Lovers, because there's only so many Airbnbs that I've stayed in, but a lot of men's hearts. Okay, so the first poem I'm going to read is one of the original Airbnb review poems. It's called A Review of Our Airbnb in Arles. Okay. The teenagers liked their third floor bedroom and bath. One floor down, my boyfriend and I liked the primary bedroom and bath, despite the constant slamming doors above our heads. The first floor bedroom and bath, without air conditioning, was the room no one wanted. But no one's air conditioning seemed to work, and these were Americans. We are so used to a humming, crisp breeze lulling us to sleep. We are so used to wanting what we paid for. And the settee broke within an hour. The pipes beneath the kitchen sink began to drip. I could not find a dish towel anywhere, which explains the pile of dirty bath towels left behind. We fought here, all 6 of us, in our different ways. I often went for 2 a.m. walks alone, so I know the neighborhood is safe. There is a small enclosed courtyard where we never sat. On the one evening I was alone in your house, I cleaned the dirty marble table in the courtyard with a bath towel. When my boyfriend returned, we made love on it beneath the ivy and the voices of the men at the tabak next door. I would be angry again that night, would turn my back to his in bed. But we chose your home because it is beautiful, because it had enough rooms to hold all our private desires. I thought we would put more photos of it, of us in it, on Instagram. I thought it was Instagrammable. I have learned so much. I hope I am not charged for the 2 wine glasses. The cracks were there before we arrived. Okay. Then I ended that relationship because I didn't want to be a stepmom in the suburbs of New Orleans. And then my dating became really unhinged. So I went on Hinge and I started travel dating or adventure dating. So I was gonna read a poem about going to a sex club in Paris, but instead I'm gonna read a review of our second date in Croatia, which lasted 12 days. I accepted your invitation to be flown to Croatia for our second date. A one-way ticket, duffel bag of lightweight clothes. My silk dresses grew slick with sweat in the summer heat. For the first 3 nights, I had my own hotel rooms overlooking the Adriatic Sea. On the 3rd, snuck into bed with you, drunk. We undressed. Again, a man 20 years older. Again, a man still wounded from a divorce he didn't want. I keep finding my way into the arms of men who need me to help them believe in love again, when I hardly believe in it myself. I trust these men with their gentle hurt, who cannot give me children or make me a wife, though I must not want those things in the first place. I want to be adored. You drove the boat, you drove the very fast chalk gray Porsche from Dubrovnik to Montenegro to Korčula to Split and back again. We watched each coastline twice. Saw you naked and angry, saw you grab the skin around your stomach, saw you complain that you are 60, that your back hurts, saw you wonder why I would want you. Saw you perk up a little like a flower finally watered. Saw you start to believe. There is nothing sweeter than finding a man like a lost boy, all skinned heart and trying not to cry. Everyone's dad just wants someone to love them again. And I get it. I just want every man to fall in love with me. But what is age, I say to each, my palm touching his cheek. That's all it takes. And in return, you fed me well, you showed me an entire country. I stayed on, settled into the distance between us. And from here, I will steer you back toward everything you thought you'd never feel, which will also hurt. Okay. And then I started to turn the lens on myself. So a review of my dating app profile. While the world was falling apart, I paid 70 euros for a woman from Moldova to dig her knuckles, then a knob of spiked wood into my thighs. She rubbed her flesh vigorously against my own, to break the fat beneath skin, restore me to my flawless youth. While the world was falling apart, I paid 60 euros to have my curls pulled straight against the hot wires of a hairbrush. In this photo, I show I have abs. In this photo, I show I have traveled well. Croatian mountains behind me, a Mexican cenote behind me, a string of men who didn't choose me behind me, and then the ones who did, whom I denied. In this photo, I show I laugh and dance. In this photo, I am in the garden where Colette grew up, but you wouldn't recognize that, would you? In this photo, I hope you recognize that I am natural, don't wear a lot of makeup, have no Botox. In this photo, I have wrinkles. In this text, I am trying to convey wit, a sense of humor about the situation. The situation is that I am alone, but so is the person reading it, I think. One cannot know. In this photo, the world is falling apart, but I'm standing there smiling. In this photo, the world is falling apart, but I think I look pretty good. I think it is clear that someone, you, might choose me. In this photo, I am both selling my love to the highest bidder and willing to give it away for free. Either way, I hold the hoop the lion jumps through. Okay, and then I just have two more. Men without rooms. The men who did not have rooms, who would not invite me inside because of kids or other inconveniences, invented rooms instead, rented in hotels and homes, promised Mexican villas and bathtubs, but landed on a small 2-room apartment with separate beds. The man with roommates, for instance, how he said he'd have me over but never did, how he left the scent of his scalp and cigarettes on my sheets, how I played Circe, trapping him in my studio up the hill, a room he loved, I know, but couldn't stay inside. 4 weeks and weekends in a row, then I released him. He left. The men without rooms I was allowed to enter came to mine instead. Brought music, brought red wine, stale promises. These men, they know the value of a room. Know they need to book early to get what they want from me. Know they can't rely solely on my offer. An illusion, after all. There's only so much you can pretend before desire slides out of reach. So far, no candlelight or crotchless thong can call it back. In truth, all of the men are men without rooms, looking for a place in the other, finding it both there and not. You can hear me, right? I'm going to light us a fire now in the chimney of my charred heart. I'm going to ask you to watch while I make this next move, thinking not of you, no, but of rooms I've never met. Men with demands and dreams architecturally real, exposed beams and blisters, and my body a door open. Okay. And then the final poem I'll read is called Leaving My Host a Review. So we're back to the Airbnb theme. Leaving my host a review, I lied. Leaving my host a review, I saw it was not as bad as it felt at the time. Leaving my host a review, I thought of what women coming after me might need to know. The issue of safety, cleanliness, comfort, trust. I worried over details. How to be brutally honest without hurting the host's feelings. How to ache. How to ensure a door left ajar just in case. Metaphorically speaking. Asked to describe my experience, I wanted to go on being a good guest. And you never knew what the host would have to say about you. Their secrets revealed only once you sent your own, submitted, admitted you were wrong, that you did not need anything, should not have had in the first place, that you left everything as you found it, imperfect but charming, that you cared for it as if it were, for those few nights or weeks, truly your own.
Very nice. I forgot to mention Kristin is also the owner, operator of a popular and famous Substack in which you can keep track of the twists and turns of her dating life. Interested in that? Now, I have just remembered that I am meant to be promoting this t-shirt. So, this is a t-shirt created by Rachelle, and it says, quick question, what do you want from me? Short answer, you can have it.
Translated.
Question rapide, qu'est-ce que tu veux de moi? Réponse rapide, vas-y, prends, je sais pas, I don't know. What do you think?
That works for me.
Yeah, close enough. Can you have it? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can have it. Why not? Okay, so we are now going to introduce our penultimate reader. Mr. Aidan Ryan is a writer from Buffalo. He has published in May of 2025. I Am Here, You Are Not, I Love You, a memoir about his uncle and aunt. We're both artists. And we have copies, of course, on the outside if you're interested in that. He's also the founder editor, I suppose, of Foundlings Press, which is a press that is also based in Buffalo, New York. Right.
Thank you. This is prose, so I can't do the cold open. As Chris said, this book, I'm Here, You're Not, I Love You, came out in May. It's sort of a blend of memoir and biography. I wrote about my aunt and uncle who were artists and who died when I was a teenager. And then I ended up getting sucked into the story too. I'm really excited to be reading Here in Paris in this book because the whole book started actually weirdly because of Paris. Years after they died, this was in like 2020, somebody in my family received an envelope from a mysterious address full of pictures of my late aunt and uncle wandering around Paris sometime in the late 80s. And I had no idea what that was about, what the trip was about, what they were doing there. I started digging, and I thought it would be an essay, and then turned into a book. So it's kind of coming full circle right now. I'm going to read just two short sections from this, the opening, and then a brief chapter that actually takes place here in Paris, when Andy and Cindy were exhibiting their work at a gallery that's actually still open, called Gallery AB, or AB Gallery, don't know where it is. It's somewhere near here. So I'll close with that. All right. She lets him help her move the armchair from its spot against the pale plaster wall. Really, Cindy does the lifting, tugging, stutter-stepping to clear a space. Opposite, the upholstery sags, straining beneath his fingers. When she moves to lift the framed drawing from the wall, then inch out the nail that held it, he rests, laying his palms flat against the chair's faded arms. Still and splayed like this, his hands look white, like enormous summer moths. 4 months ago, Andy had been built like a laborer, eating well and breathing mountain air, putting in shifts at his studio beside their home in Callicoon, a hamlet tucked in the Catskills. He lifted bricks and stones for sculptures, practiced joinery with heavy beams meant for dining sets that friends and neighbors had commissioned. But now, back in the city for appointments with specialists, stairs dizzy him. Elevators give him vertigo. Small talk leaves him breathless. Budweiser still sits well, but even simple foods, favorite foods, can make him nauseous. Cindy manages. She manages the double-mortgaged house in Callicoon, the dark, rented apartment on Withers Street in North Williamsburg. She manages the correspondence, friends checking in galleries from Buffalo to Basel inquiring. And she manages the hospitals. With weary eyes and wiry hair from her own second round of chemo completed in the fall, Cindy knows the hospitals, knows the right people at Herbert Irving and Weill Cornell and Columbia. She knows all the sallow hallways, the exits, and the dead ends. For 20 years, Cindy has managed for the both of them. She has managed Andy and Andy's career, the recognition received for his beautiful, precise, complicated, recognize-it-anywhere art. She took pride in it until, one day, pride was an indulgence that exhaustion wouldn't afford her. And now this. Now Andy needs her more than ever, and in new, rewardless ways. They are alone in love and knowledge of each other. Cindy manages because she must, for the both of them. But with them, it has never been just about surviving. They learn to be alone together, first inside ideas. The purple t-shirt hangs loosely from Andy's shoulders. His shrinking body is a factory of bones, new protuberances emerging from him every day. His own unfamiliarity makes the shirt difficult to remove. Cindy steps to him, her small hands finding the hem hanging blousily where his stomach used to be. He looks away as she lifts, letting his arms drop and loping to the tripod as soon as he's free. He fiddles with the camera, an old Polaroid, the same one that has been with him all these years. Funny, he earned his MFA in photography and came up in the world with a group the critics called the Pictures Generation. He had been a leader among them, the far out one, the star to catch, once. But when the coffee table books were finally written, Andy was relegated to the appendix. The reason was simple. Andy stopped making pictures. For a period of years, he stopped making art altogether. But now pictures are all he can talk about. The surface, Andy says, speaking to himself, staring through the viewfinder to the open wall. A loaded gun. When he sways, it feels like the room moves with him. She thinks he's paler than the walls. Under the brutal shop lamp, his bruises glow like bar signs. Outside, snow falls and music fills the street when a car door opens. No one, Alicia Keys, one of the first hits of the new year. Cindy starts to hum along, but as soon as she begins, the song is gone. A little more, Andy says, his rumble now a rasp. Cindy tugs the chair another inch, then straightens up. Still bare from the hips, holding his waistband with one hooked hand, he shuffles into the light. Cindy sees it now, where the blank wall ends and the canvas begins. When he turns, he doesn't look into the camera. He looks to her. Their eyes shine like a river in the moonlight. Wait, he says, straightens his body to the camera. It is a minor struggle even to lift his own chin, to face, in a way, his own gaze. The cheeks behind his beard slacken, eyes go hard. Maybe this is it. The voice, his or hers, is lost inside the click. So the book is kind of heavy. The book opens kind of heavy at the end of Cindy and Andy's life together in the first days of 2008. But the next part I wanted to read from Paris is a much happier time in their lives when really everything seemed possible. This is short as well. Just dive into it. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Oh my God. We're doing the French. Who speaks French? Everybody speaks French. So no problem, we love French. Okay. Ça fait 20 ans que c'est Cindy qui gère tout pour tous les deux. Elle a géré Andy et la carrière d'Andy. How is Andy in French? Andy. La reconnaissance reçue pour son travail artistique beau, précis, compliqué, qu'on reconnaîtrait n'importe où. Elle en était fière jusqu'à ce qu'un jour la fierté soit devenue une indulgence que son épuisement ne lui permettait plus. Et maintenant, ça. Maintenant, Andy a plus que jamais besoin d'elle et de manière nouvelle sans gratification aucune. Ils sont tous tout seuls dans leur amour et dans leur connaissance de l'un de l'autre. Cindy gère parce qu'il faut qu'elle gère, pour eux deux. Mais avec eux, ça n'a jamais été tout simplement une question de survie. Ils ont appris à être seuls ensemble d'abord à l'intérieur des idées. What's good about hearing a text twice is if your mind watered the first time, you'd be like, oh, that's what was happening. Toujours nu au-delà des hanches, tenant sa ceinture élastique d'une main projetée, il se traîne vers la lumière. Cindy le voit maintenant, l'endroit où le mur vide se termine et la toile commence. Quand il se retourne, il ne regarde pas vers l'objectif, il regarde vers elle. Leurs yeux brillent comme une rivière au clair de lune. Attends, dit-il. Il se redresse vers l'objectif. Rien que le fait de soulever le menton est un petit combat, pour faire face, d'une certaine manière, à son propre regard. Les joues derrière sa barbe se relâchent, son regard durcit. Peut-être qu'on y est. La voix, à lui ou bien à elle, se perd dans le pli.
Well, that sounded great to me. But then again, I said gracias to a waiter earlier.
Seriously.
Actually, before I get into the next section, I just want to say, Andy and Cindy's work is out there. There's some in museum and private collections, even here in France and Germany. Cindy hasn't shown any work since 1990, but there's going to be a show of her work in Buffalo in January, in just 2 weeks. I assume none of you will be in Buffalo in 2 weeks. But if you want a taste of the show, I printed out a bunch of postcards with some of her collages. I have them here so you can take them. Woo. All right, the Paris chapter. So I was born in 1993. This chapter opened, I have like a little epigraph from somebody who wrote a letter to somebody else. She writes, "All the best to you in 1993. It's going to be the year of the rooster, Chinese zodiac, which is apparently kind of tricky, so watch out." It lands with a plunk, like a fingertip tapping a timpani. At least that's what it sounds like inside, sheet stretched taut as a drum head above them. Cindy feels the weight of it on her right hip. For a moment it just sits, and then its exploration begins. Little limbs skittering up her side, tickling her elbow, and then nothing. Do you feel it? Andy's breath comes warm, rich with Gauloise blue and Cronenberg. "I think it's on my wrist," he whispers. There is no light in the apartment, no light beneath the thin, rebarbative blankets, but Cindy feels as if she can see Andy's face just inches from her own. For a moment they lie in silence, staring into the brief but total void between them, and then they explode into laughter. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? The Buffalo Bills coach, Marv Levy, is fond of saying to his team. He might have asked Cindy and Andy, where, after all, could they possibly rather be than Paris in 1993? Sure, the apartment is dingy and completely infested. Cindy had shrieked when she saw antennae emerging from the shower head, and then spent the next 10 minutes swatting at corners with a quickly weary pair of walking flats. But just about everything else in their world is right. Andy and Cindy are here with some of their closest friends, Peter Moscato, their neighbor in Williamsburg, and Jessica Berwind, the Philadelphia gallerist and promoter of Andy's work. She had helped to set up a show the previous weekend at Iris van der Tan's gallery in Berlin, where Andy and his work, geometric figurations on paper and enigmatic sculptural installations of metal, sand, and glass, enjoyed an ecstatic reception. From Berlin, they traveled by train to Paris, where Andy had a show at Gallery AB. Jessica had accompanied them to do a bit of networking, but the group quickly lost faith in her contact, the one who proudly had handed them the keys to the hazardous walk-up. The man was exceptionally short, maybe 4'9", and had piled the entire quintet into what appeared to be a clown car. Cindy and Jessica managed to squeeze in, but Andy had to fold up like an accordion to fit inside the passenger seat, and Peter in the back wasn't much better off. The Frenchman's vague promises of connexions didn't pan out. But the AB show was a success, and the Americans relished the time in the city. They went out eating and drinking. Andy found hamburgers to order, miraculously, and they spent long days walking the streets and bridges following a copy of Connoisseur, an insider's guide to the Paris flea markets that was 3 years out of date. At night, they smoked French cigarettes and drank French wine and beers, and finally, exhausted from all the talk and all the laughter and all the swatting at cockroaches, they took to their berths, Cindy and Andy on the one bed and Peter and Jessica on couches, all wrapped up like mummies so that the bugs couldn't touch them, even as the heavy bodies dropped from the ceiling all night long. And so Cindy and Andy kept laughing. Their friends were awake too. They can hear Peter's low chuckle begin, and then behind Jessica's happy, exhausted sigh. They laughed themselves to sleep that night, like they had the night before, laughing under their covers until the cotton carapace runs low on oxygen and they drift into blissful, delirious, dreamless slumber. Woo! Okay. Great job. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, so we have our last and final reading. They're coming up shortly. Before this happens, I suppose I would like to say thank you to Vielle. Thank you guys for coming. It's really nice. We've been going there for years, not at Buffalo all the time, doing various readings being hosted constantly, and so it's nice to be able to have them here instead. And thank you to you guys for coming and supporting them as readers, and for everybody else to come out and support everyone on this big tour. I think that's really nice. What else? Yeah, when this is done, hang out. There's gala, there's drinks in the bar. I forget what else I'm supposed to say. Okay, Rachelle Toarmino is a poet from Buffalo, New York. Also a professor sometimes, and has recently published this book, Hell Yeah, which is a very exciting book for us to all enjoy a little bit of reading from. So, up she comes, Rachelle Toarmino. Let's go.
Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited. Thank you to Chris for hosting and Lucy for helping organize and for reading. And thank you, Kristin and Will, for reading as well. Thank you, Aidan, for helping me put on my shoes to get here on time. I'm going to read from my new book. It's called Hell Yeah, which is a book about common speech and the ancient, mundane, strange ways that we relate and respond to one another. And I'm just going to go right into it. I'll begin with the first poem and end with the last one so that you have a sense for the book. But I'll shuffle it up in between. The first poem is called Hell and Back. Maybe I'm not a party. I approximate myself on all fours. I'm like this, reacting like this. This is my body. Take it. Having made it so real, I broke it for you. I income thusly into contact with beautiful reasons. Come any closer. I can't keep myself to myself. This music is touching, and mine is a tongue, and a tongue around nothing rings. Real romantic. You feel like such a bonus, meeting me where I'm at. Nothing pleases me like life, in quotes in an obit. The impulse toward the lyric is a private thing, and I'm a real insider. The sentence, held back by its hair, settles into a miraculous decoy for sense. Try telling a romantic it's not as real as it feels. I get hopeful, looking the part. So what if love is my form? Love is first of all, and the rest of it all also. I unnerve for you, wanting to go all the way, but I haven't. Quick question. What do you want from me? Short answer. You can have it. Sucker. Can't tell unless I squint whether his shirt says money or honey. Sweet hell. So he wants his email to find me well. I spend most days mad, and I've learned to like it. Read everything. It's nothing short of a pleasure for you to find me. Well, there I go again, taking what I can get and giving it all I've got. What I've got is my voice and heat breaking against it. It's nothing to know how hot a voice can be. I'm told the opposite of money is waiting. Of honey is no honey. Unless I've got anywhere better to be, I'll play together nicely. Even I want me to have a great weekend. Would you look at that? Chris?
One more time with me. This one was a challenge. So, in English it's sucker, and in French we're going with pigeon. Je dois plisser les yeux pour voir si sur ton t-shirt il y a écrit « Rêve de thune ou de lune ». 12 enfers. Dans son mail, il espère que je me trouve bien. Je passe le gros de mes journées en colère. Je me suis mise à aimer ça. Rouge de partout. C'est tout bonnement un plaisir de se retrouver. Bon, me revoilà à faire avec ce que j'ai et à y donner tout ce que j'ai. Ce que j'ai, c'est ma voix et cette douceur contre laquelle elle se brise. Ce n'est rien de savoir à quel point une voix peut être mielleuse. On me dit que le contraire de la thune, c'est la tente. Et que le contraire de la lune, c'est pas de lune. Sauf si j'ai quoi que ce soit d'autre à faire, on peut jouer sagement ensemble. Même moi, je me souhaite de passer un bon week-end. Figurez-vous ça. Figurez-vous ça.
My work has now been translated into 2 languages. All right. Little poem about being a bit of a space cadet. Full enough. I feel personal, doing my own thing. I forget the details, handling them. Can't help I'm led by the ear, pinched by it. I take my attention to distraction as a kind of willpower. I want to be at least as ongoing as a stake on a string, new as any way, and no better for it. Inside's the longest way to look. Not at the moon, but at Buzz Aldrin, whose mother's maiden name was Moon. Whose idea was it? It strikes me simply and thusly each day how it is. The excerpts, the signal, the whole of it. How where there's light, there's heat. And where there's heat, you'll know it when you feel it. I'm trying to tell you the rest of it. Good thing. We're a crowd again, for the love of it. No use for measure, making out your breath in the midnight here, so sweet like flint. I cash in like whatever, heart the poem's for, I hope it does go on. Or the honeyed throat, what goes with it knows this is the tradition. I don't wonder what makes a good thing. Can't get over you, since you said time means so much to me, all bright and first person. The effect being to slip into something less particular, sound overwhelmed for once, but I get out of hand, getting myself out of your hands. What would I say of you if I had to say it all again? The next poem I'm going to read is after Summer Browning and her poem, Great Things from the Department of Transportation. Mine is called All My Life, O Lord. My father wants to know if we're PayPals. My father calls me on his birthday and says, "It's my birthday." My father keeps a shoebox of greeting cards in his closet, pre-signed and ready for anything. My father tells my fiance he'll stop sending me Valentine's Day cards if it, means anything to him. A woman's father might be the first man she loves. My father invites 107 people to my wedding. I don't want to hear about that role-playing shit, my father says to me when I try to talk to him about gender roles. The brown LASIK eyes of my father fill with awe, as everything on Pine Avenue changes in his lifetime. On my father's nightstand, 2 books on horse racing, patchouli candle, note with lunch with Frankie, chained to Firth's, iTunes, ? One night in the 1980s, 1 mile from the pharmaceutical plant and 3 from the 167-foot waterfall. My father accidentally becomes a father, my mother tells me. My father's idol is not his father, but the television actor his sisters tell me looks like. My father works with men who report him to management, when he calls them Benny and not Dr. Price. My father wanted to work at the hospital and not the plant because he prefers people to machines. Now everything's a machine, he tells me. My father treats Siri like a magic 8-ball. My father takes his iPad to Best Buy when he forgets his Facebook password. My father creates an Amazon wish list and adds ideas like peace for all my family and friends. And for my numbers to come in. My father speaks to his brothers in a voice I don't always recognize. I speak to my father in a voice I receive but don't always understand. My father, when the server comes to take our order, get whatever you want. Since 2008, my father's ringtone has been the hit single In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. He answers singing. This poem is called Flowers, Poems, Flower Poems. A woman I've never met sends me tulips from 2 states over. There are things women know to do. They sit on my desk next to the window. I love flowers because they're ordinary on one side of the glass and a gift on the other. I keep them alive to remember I can. There are things women know how to do. Clipped and caged in, I think that's beautiful. What could be more feminine than dying a slow death and another creature calling it beautiful? A hymn for every howl. It's crazy when you think about it. Whatever you call it, it's the one thing that brings me back into myself. Dancing naked in the mirror and making faces in the glass. I only ever wanted to make you feel my feeling. You want to make me mad, so you can call me mad? Well, I am mad. You knew who I was when you spun me like a prom queen, and I kept my eyes open. I showed you my rotten nature. A woman can spend her whole life spinning, arranging flowers, and I intend to. Not now, but I've decided to die. Like a tulip in March, on the desk of a stranger, an opening. Sweet enough for you now? Still opening. I have my limits. If creating a constraint is not unlike inventing problems, and I like to know my way around, then the limit toward which all my desires reach is pleasure of impact. To feel the fact of my own voice back itself against a wall. Matter made by feeling, around in the dark. The mother gives the child a box of crayons, meaning to keep her busy. She lines each along the perimeter of the room, making a threshold of color. You want proof people love you, he says, telling me my problem. To go out on that kind of limb, index finger, holding blinds back. Love gets me out of the house. Love always gets me out of the house. I am that woman, mouth open, ended, breath away. Lyric lesson. I could handle the bonds between feeling and hearing, but now it's the bicentennial of feeling like and wanting to. touching is antique by comparison. Many examples list music, though that's its second nature. Listen. Our appetites growl mouthward, addressing each other in subjunctive. All night, crickets sound the way glitter looks. Light catching so rightly, we forget it's physical. All this to reach you. All this to say what eats me. Announcement. So thrilled to officially share that I have finally, and among so many favorites, and my head is spinning. Thank you. I'm so pleased and psyched and geeked and grateful. Friends, some personal news. Please, a moment of your time. Happy, join me, really hope you enjoy. The results are in, and I can't believe. So me of me too. I would. I don't mean to brag, but an honor. I'm honored. I have been hard at work to make you feel a way, to make me feel a way. I do not want to die. I want to wake each moment to the plain possible light of language. I said I shared my flower poem, but it did not make me want to live. Thanks so much for making this happen, and in such great company. This is my last poem. It's after Molly Burdack. Rachelle Toarmino. I know a good thing. When I love hard. I get weird for people who don't want me. No. I love when I love hard. I was born at night. When red filled up the air with light, I bet it felt like heaven. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That's it. That's our entire evening. Thank you very much for coming out. Thank you very much to our readers, Kristin, Aidan, Rachelle, Will, and Lucy, particularly Rachelle and Aidan for flying across the Atlantic for their 27th reading on your tour, 22nd, whatever it is. 20, something in the 20s whilst ever so wildly pregnant. Hang out. There's cake, there's drinks at the bar where you can chat, and there are books for sale on your way out if you're interested in perusing the titles, and also little broadsides for Rochelle's poetry stuff, and there's t-shirts and blah, 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 and let's chat. Okay, thank you very much. Hell yeah.
No one's made that joke before.